Peace and prosperity. I am live. I'm gonna just pop this down a little bit. Okay. Peace. Let me know if y'all can hear me as you are coming into this live video. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone on do not disturb so nobody disturbs me as I am sharing what today's live is going to be about. So, welcome to today's live session. Today is 999. Okay, 999. The 999 portal that everyone keeps talking about in the spiritual community and just in general. And yeah, today is the 999 portal, and 999 has everything to do with closing out cycles, as I have spoken on. If you made it to any of my other previous lives, um, today has to do with closing out cycles, completing things, and leaving things behind. And so I tapped in and I tuned in to what my audience, specifically the people who are going to come onto my video, what they need for me to channel to them on this sacred day. And the information that came up had to do with closing out the cycle of feeling the need to compete for your manifestations, feeling the need to prove your worth in order to receive. We've been building on this subject for the past few days now. So, what's been wanting to come through and to be channeled is that cycle of attracting emotionally, maybe men who are emotionally present, or they have a little bit of something, right? Like many of you who watch me have a lot of options, right? You may have a lot of options, and you um might feel like, the options that are being presented to you look shiny, right? They look shiny. They have the things that you might want in a man and a provider, but the only thing is he's not fully providing. That's the only thing. The only thing is he's not fully providing. He might love you well. He might do all the other things well. He might, and so there's this illusion that if I continue to stay in this or pour myself into this, that something will change or that something will shift. Okay. And that's one of the things that's getting closed out. Okay. In this 99 portal, that you have the opportunity to close it out, because just because you're presented with the opportunity doesn't mean that everybody's going to take it, right? Like spirit presents us with opportunities to come into our fullest alignment all the time. Spirit gives us opportunities to, and when I say spirit, I want to be clear, it's the spirits that are guiding you, specifically your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, or even your higher self will put you in predicaments and spaces and bring things towards you. It's like giving you the opportunity to shift, okay? To shift, to have things um align for you. But if you're not sensitive to this energy, if you're not sensitive to what you need to change, and you're not listening, then you won't do it. Okay. So this is the purpose of me even in, right? Like this is why you have people who come on, who speak, who teach, and who share during these times, because this is your opportunity basically. Okay. So 999, the first and foremost thing that is getting closed out and completed, and that I channeled energy on, is that the timeline of you settling for men that cannot provide for you is over. Like that has to get closed out now. And you're stepping into a timeline of full provision, of being with a man who is, right, the King of Cups. The King of Cups, he can emotionally, not only emotionally provide for you and all of those things, but he can also financially provide for you, right? He's like well-rounded in all of the things that he can provide for you. There is no more settling in regards to that. Another thing that we're going to be closing out in today's video, and is kind of aligned with the short that I posted today about manifesting, is the way we show up in manifesting um as women, that comes off a- as competing, right? Like, we're competing for love, and we're competing for the things that are meant for us in life. We're competing for our manifestations, and there's different ways that these things play out. So we're closing the cycle on feeling like we need to compete for the things that we want in life, and also for love, and stepping into a love that is, and is complete in and of itself. A man that can completely provide for you, a man that can completely show up for you. So that's what we're going to be getting into in today's video. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Asaya the Creatrix, and here on this channel we talk about primal feminine energy, decoding, and getting into the depths of internalized misogyny and basically patriarchy, right? We talk about patriarchy, we talk about internalized misogyny, basically all things woman, okay? Premlada Kaur says, hi, what is my future? I'm working hard for my judicial exam. Okay, so I'm only answering questions that have to do, or that is related to the subject that I'm talking about. Um, if you're wanting to know something specifically, for those of you who are joining my live or who are present within my live, at the end of my lives, I offer, for those of you who are the most engaged in the chat, I offer a free reading at the end of the live, a free mini reading at the end of the live, okay, and pertaining to the subject that I'm speaking about in the live, okay? Before I dive deeper, I also want to preface and say that to anyone that is coming into my videos, to anyone who is watching my videos with any competitive energy, with any jealous energy, envious energy, you're coming on my channel wanting to absorb the information that I have. You're wanting to absorb the information I have, and um, repeat it elsewhere as if you came up with it, or any kind of malevolent energy, evil eye energy. You are not welcome here. So please just get up off this video. You're not welcome here. Okay. Um, so yeah, okay. And with that being said, I also want to announce the launch of my school membership community, the Creatrix Collective. So you all know I have a lot of courses, I have a lot of master classes, I have a lot of programs that I offer. I've decided to create a community called the Creatrix Collective, where you can become a part of the community and basically get access to everything. All of my, well, not all of my programs and courses, but all of the main core curriculum that I have offered um, on the Creatrix Academy is now available within the Creatrix Collective. And you can basically get access to all of those things for $111 a month. Whereas, right, like most of my courses that I offer are $297 and up. Um, I did decide to do a flash sale before I decided to create a community. And I decided to scratch the flash sale and just make everything into a community. So yes, mama, you're gonna have to get down, girl, because you moving too much. So if you're interested in joining the Creatrix Collective, the link to that is in the description box below. And a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, you can learn how to like do a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, right? Manifesting, relationships, quantum leaping in all of these areas. We're going to be getting into a whole bunch of other different subjects and topics within the Creatrix Collective, like health. Um, Healthy and Beautiful is definitely a curriculum that I've been wanting to do for a while to help women with their health. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to be adding into the membership, but you basically get access to everything right now for $111 in the Creatrix Collective membership community. So the link to that again is down below in the description if you want to be a part of the tribe. And it's also for a sacred place for sisterhood. Hi, Tashian. Okay, my moderator is in the room. So you have moderator privileges. Thank you for being here. um, Tashian, how are you doing? So I'm also wanting to create, a sacred space for sisterhood and all of those things. Because a lot of you have come onto this channel and just be like, this is a breath of fresh air. Like I have like been surrounded by like just people that I haven't been able to connect with, women I haven't been able to connect with. And now I'm here on your channel and I finally feel seen and understood. That is what I just want to cultivate and grow within the Creatrix Collective, a sacred and safe space for women, especially women who are coming out of like really toxic family dynamics. And you feel unsupported in your feminine journey, you feel unsupported in your womanhood, all of those things. This is the place where I'm going to be specifically there to support. So, Tashian says, I am well. How are you? On a little vacation right now. I'm feeling great. Oh, wonderful. Where are you vacationing to? I hope it's somewhere sunny and with a beach and beautiful so I can pretend that I'm there with you. So, okay. So let's get into it, all right? Manifesting. All right, let's start with manifesting. Oh, Florida. Yep, Florida has sunny beaches. Uh-huh. So that sounds about right. Um, okay, let's get started. I want to get started with talking about manifesting because we're closing out cycles today. In this 999 portal, cycles of feeling like we have to bring things into our life in a way that is super masculine, hyper masculine, and making us have to prove our worth. Okay. Um, so we're stepping out of that. We're closing the cycle on that. The billionaire's blood moon was definitely like the big activation for stepping into your billionaire's timeline. So if you didn't make it to that, um, I suggest you watch the replay. But okay, so 10 of Cups. So King of Cups, 10 of Cups. Ultimate fulfillment, your ultimate fulfillment and your ultimate happiness is going to come when you start manifesting in the way that you're meant to manifest. Okay? No more worrying, no more concerning yourself, no more stressing or whatever like that about things that just don't matter when you know that it's done already. Um the way we can show up in a really competitive energy when it comes to manifesting things, like regular things in our life, especially money, is we will feel like we need to concern ourselves with how, when, where, and who. Okay, when really none of those things matter. None of those things matter. When you say that I want something, it no though the factors of who, where, what, when, and how no longer matters. The only thing that matters is why. Why do you want what you want? And that's it. That's the only question you should ever ask yourself. If you're ever talking to someone about your desires, okay, and they start asking you, well, who's gonna do that for you? Well, when is it gonna happen? Well, where are you gonna go learn, figure out how to do that? Well, how are you gonna do this, right? If you're talking to somebody about your desires and they start asking you those questions, okay, if it is causing resistance inside of you, meaning you don't feel pleasure, like you don't feel good answering those questions. It makes you feel stressed out. It makes you feel concerned, makes you feel worried. And sometimes, I mean, a lot of women are so disconnected from their emotional body that they don't even know if those questions are stressing them out because they're so used to being kind of like challenged in their femininity and like, well, how is that going to make something happen? How is you just wanting something going to make something happen? Right? Um a lot of times women are like not sensitive to that, so they don't know that it is stressing them out. So I want you to be very sensitive to how you're feeling about the things that you're wanting, especially when you are, and if people are asking you certain questions about the thing that you want. Okay, if they're asking you those things and it's making you feel badly or discomfort or stressed out, start start getting yourself to the place where you can begin to respond in a way that is still centered on your desire and not going where they want you to go, right? Because people, well intended but idiotic, do not understand that asking those types of questions when it comes to the thing that you want to manifest is not it's not necessary. It's not necessary for you to answer any of those questions. And yes, Tashian, I did go live yesterday. You were looking for it, but you missed it. Oh, I wonder why you didn't see it. I was definitely live yesterday. So, um, I've been live actually probably for the past like 3 days. Okay, I might have to go get some water because I completely forgot to go get my water. Um, okay. Um, so sorry y'all, I'm chewing and I'm eating, but I don't have water, so I need something to like moisten up my throat. Make sure that whenever you think those questions, you start to generate the response within yourself that says, well, that doesn't matter. The better question to ask myself is why. Why do I want to manifest what I want to manifest? Why do I want a man that provides for me 100%? Why do I want to be in a relationship that looks like this and not looks like that, right? Be in a relationship with a man that is completely and totally fulfilling me and not just partially. Not just partially providing me what I need. Like for a lot of you, and I'm going to say this again, for a lot of you, the men that you're with is like they are bringing some things to the table, that's like fulfilling you emotionally, but they broke, you know? They're broke or they're financially like stressed out or they're financially not like in a position to where they can de-stress you and take you out of survival mode and give to you in a way that is balanced. So the only thing that matters is why. Why do you want that? If at any point you start to ask yourself those questions, who, what, where, when, and why, and not who, what, when, who, what, where, when, and how, if anyone else starts asking you those questions, just remember that that doesn't matter. None of that matters. Because once you start feeling like you have to answer those questions, you start feeling like those answers have to sound good. Those answers have to be worthy. Because if they're not worthy, then how am I going to manifest the thing that I want? How am I going to manifest the money that I desire or the provider that I desire? Where is he going to come from? How is this going to happen? None of that matters. What can benefit you when you answer those questions again is if you actually are feeling pleasure when you answer them. Meaning if you use that as a game in your manifestations, if you ask yourself who, what, where, when, and how as like a playful thing for you, that to prompt yourself to come up with a story or to come up with a script to write about exactly how you're going to manifest your provider man or exactly how you are going to manifest the amount of money that you want, then that's different. And then that allows you to still remain that feminine frequency. Okay. Your feminine energy is your wheel of fortune. If you want to get lucky in life, just understand the way feminine energy works. I'm not talking about just like the superficial parts of feminine energy, but that's a big part of what my channel teaches and talks about is the spiritual definition of feminine energy and what the spirituality of feminine energy looks like and feels like, which is integrated into what we see and what we experience in the physical. So Tashian Divine says, so how would you balance manifesting with a Capricorn moon? I feel I always need to plan or a strategy to feel at ease. So the thing is, it's about what feels good. It's about what feels good to you, right? I have a Virgo moon, so I'm also like an earthy moon sign. I understand. All right. I feel really good when things are clean. I feel really good that when things are clean. Does that mean that I have to clean? Not necessarily. Doesn't mean that I have to clean. It doesn't mean that I have to stress myself out if it feels stressful for me to give myself the things that I know that I need. So I figure out ways to hire cleaners. I figure out ways to have other people come over and help me clean or clean and, basically do most of the work for me. Which usually falls under the category for my male friends, okay? The men in my life, I have decided are providers, right? So, but the man that I choose to be with and give all of myself to is going to be able to take care of all of me, right? But like when I am um in the presence of men, I understand that this man is a provider. So I need help with this. So what I would say is go ahead and what's the word? Delegate, right? As an earth sign moon, you are a boss, okay? You're a boss in terms of Like you rule over the earth realm. So you're better to delegate than to just sit there and try and do everything yourself. You know how to do it yourself, but you don't have to do it yourself. You just know what needs to be done. So if you already know the plan or the strategy, which being a Capricorn moon, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of strategies and a lot of plans, and you know the exact one that you want to be done because the one that you know you want to be done is the one that's going to work. um then set that intention. Set that intention for that to be done. It's really about you being sensitive to your how you feel and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So that's a huge thing when it comes to manifesting. The core of manifesting is choosing. You have a choice. That's the essence of manifesting, is that you're choosing what you want to experience. So figure out what you want to experience. And then delegate and create accordingly. Tashian the Divine says, "Can you give me an example for manifesting money?" So you mean like when you feel the urge to plan or strategize to make money or manifest money, like what to do um in that situation? If that's what you mean, just let me know. But if you're feeling like you need to plan and strategize your way to making money, okay, the first thing that you need to do is just figure out what's stressing you out. What is stressing you out? What do you not want to do? That's what you need to get clear about. What do I not want to do? Like if I have a strategy, how would I delegate? An example. If you have a strategy to make it so this is what you would need to get clear on. Do you What do you want to do? Do you want to like how do you want to receive your money? It's really that simple. Okay? It's extremely simple, okay? You decide what you want to manifest. Okay? For the example of money, you decide how much money you want to manifest. Pick a number. Then, okay, after you've decided, this is what I want, this is the money that I want to come into my experience, or this is the money that I want to experience. Then you have to decide, well, how do I want it to come to me? Or um what would feel the best, in what way would I want it to come to me? Now, again, you don't have to ask yourself these questions. You can just have the intention and then do other things that bring it in really quickly, which I teach inside of Valued and Worthy, which I'm giving to you all inside of the Creatrix Collective. I was about to call it the Feminine Collective. Inside of the Creatrix Collective, okay? So, yeah, you can get access to that now for just $111, okay? And I teach you all of the exact manifesting techniques, specifically when it comes to money. But if you have a strategy, how would you like if you have a strategy and you want to delegate, right? If you have a strategy for making money and you're really like passionate about that strategy and you really want the money to come through in that way, then again, it's all about what you want. If you want to delegate it to someone else because you don't want to do it, then delegate it. Okay. Inside of the Creatrix Collective, I have the Soft Life Blueprint, where I teach you exactly how to start allowing the men in your life to step up as providers. Yes, I said men is in plural. No, this is not sex work. No, this is not like that's getting annoying when I hear creators say, oh, men giving you money, men helping you, that's tricking, or that's this, that. No, that's just men being men in your life. Okay? And getting or earning the access to be in your life. So what I would do if I was you is I would delegate so it really just depends, because I don't know what your strategy is and I don't know how you feel about the strategy. So maybe a little bit more details would help me a bit. Um, but in my reality, I usually delegate things to the men that are in my life to make my life easier. If it's stressing me out, if it's worrying me, if it's like I'm delegating it to the men that are in my life. And a lot of y'all don't are like, that's really foreign to you to like ask men for practical help consistently, or like financial help, or like things like that. For a lot of you, that's like alien territory, and you don't know how to ask, you don't know how to present like what you want. You feel guilty to ask for help, or to, especially if you're not intimate with him or you're not giving anything to him. Okay. A lot of y'all have guilt around that. That I picked up on, and I decided that I was going to talk today about in this live video. Tashian says, okay, I see what you are saying. Okay, the Empress reversed. All right, the Empress reverse came out. So there's a lot of wealth that you already have, that we all already have, right? But you already have a lot of wealth, and there's, with the Empress coming out reversed, it's talking about there's a resistance to embracing that wealth within your femininity. Okay, so it's possible that um there's always men in the orbit. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now. There is always men in the orbit, in the feminine field, just waiting for permission to come in and help and do something to help you and lend a helping hand. Actually, this is really, really funny. Before I came on today's live, I was dropping my daughter off to her, what she does in the evening, and I was walking back, and my neighbor was like, right, like at the same like stop sign that I was at before I was about to cross the street. He came up behind me. He's an old man, gotta be like in his 60s. Okay, this man gotta be in his 60s, but we live in the same apartment complex. He lives down the hall from me, and I always I I always love talking to him because we're both from New Orleans, Louisiana. And whenever I talk to him, I just feel like I'm at home. I feel like homey, that feeling of home. So I'm always happy to talk to him. But he saw me today, and we walked back to the apartment together, and I'm like clocking some things. Okay, this man always, when he sees me, he's always asking me if he can come with me to one of the places that I go out to when I'm going out. Because he always sees me looking real nice in one of my dresses, and he's like, "Oh, take me with you," and I'm like, "I'm not taking you with me." I don't tell him that, but I'm like, "Okay, okay, one day we'll go." Um, And he'll also see me sometimes and he'll be like, "Oh, aren't you moving out like with one of your boyfriends or something, or with your boyfriend or your man or something like that?" Like, and so today I seen him and he's talking to me, and he starts asking me some questions and we're talking, and then he starts talking about like me taking him to the place that I go out to. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, you're supposed to bring me with you. You know, like we could go together. I got the money." Like he always saying that. And then today he asked me for my number. And then when we went up the stairs, he starts telling me about all the money that he makes from his being a veteran in the military, and how he makes he has $600,000, and he had to pay this house off and send money to this person, and yeah, he was like, "I just don't know what to do with my money." And I'm like, I know this old man is not like at this point I've been shooting him down for 3 years. And I'm like, I guess this was the moment or the day that he decided to shoot his shot. But then he starts talking about, yeah, and if I had a wife, she'd be living good if I had a wife. But I'm just here because it's just me. I got grandkids and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, yeah. So I took that as a sign, right? That masculine the masculine provider energy is very much so present in the air, okay, right now. Um and it's coming through. It's coming through not just for me, but it's coming through for the women in my community. It's coming through for the energy of just right now, right? Like this is the timeline that we're collapsing out of, is feeling like we have to do everything on our own. We have to carry all the burdens, okay? We have to tow along, the dead weight of the men who are in our life that fulfill us in every other way, except they can't provide. They can't provide our every need. All right. When there are plenty of men who can, and there are plenty of men who want to. So the Empress reversed. All right. And yes, Tashian, yeah, he wants me. He does. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one yet, but definitely gonna keep that in my back pocket if ever necessary. Um, but the Empress reverse definitely speaks to like you having wealth in your orbit, and you need to tap into that. Like something going on there that needs to be released. Probably, maybe some fears around being fully in receptive mode, in receiving mode, being not being the emperor, but being the empress. Okay, not being the one that does the thing and makes it happen, but being the empress, the one who just has it happen for her, has it be done for her. This is the energy that I'm talking about here when I'm talking about feminine manifesting. Okay, very rarely am I speaking to, yeah, and you got to do this and you got to do that and you have to make this happen and you have to make that happen, and here's the system and here's the structure and all of those things. For you as a Capricorn moon, and this is something that I also needed to tap into, okay, is look into the esoteric ruler of Capricorn, okay, which is actually not Saturn, it's Lilith. Okay, the esoteric ruler of Capricorn is Lilith, the asteroid. Yes, I know. But that's the esoteric ruler of Capricorn. So start to kind of make that connection there, because the esoteric ruler of Virgo is the moon. very feminine planets. And it's something that's overlooked very often. But if you look into the higher self of people who embody these energies, the higher self, right? Like the highest expression of Capricorn energy, it's not the workaholic. It's not the workaholic. It's not the Capricorn that's all like all up in the material, but it's the Capricorn that is connected to the ethereal. It's the Capricorn that is connected to the divine. It's the Capricorn that also understands power. And as so I would say power as it relates to the dark feminine, because Lilith is the dark feminine. Tashian said, what? Yes. In esoteric astrology, I'm mostly an esoteric astrologer. I know a lot about Vedic and a lot about Western, but a lot of astrology is colonized. A lot of spirituality is colonized. So there's a lot of things that a lot of times people don't want to, talk about or whatever like that. They just ignore or they don't even see it. Okay, so the Five of Cups reverse came out. Some of you have been like disappointed in love or are facing a lot of disappointment in love because you feel like the men that you're with are not recognizing you as the Empress. They think that you are an emperor like them, or they treat you like you aren't the wealthy and prosperous and like you don't deserve to be feminine. That's what I'm getting. So a lot of you have experienced a lot of disappointment in love. Hi, Winston the Wise. Ooh, looking majestic and ethereal as ever. Thank you. You're so sweet. So yeah, a lot of you have been experiencing disappointment in love, feeling like you aren't being seen as the Empress, as a woman who's worthy of giving to. Um, and that is the cycle that's so closing out. Dealing with men who are not treating you or seeing your worth and your value. This is the thing. This is the thing. When a man, it doesn't matter how much money a man has. When he treats the woman in his life as his top priority, whatever you like, I mean, whatever the things that you need that you're asking him to help you with, whenever he lends a hand to help you, every time this man prioritizes you, helps you, pours into you, gives you what you need, all of those things, physically, practically, emotionally, spiritually, he is manifesting wealth. Like this is the thing. Okay, we talked about this in the previous live, okay, a bit, but like this is how men stunt themselves financially in the long term, spiritually, energetically, all those things, is when he starts to look at you like you are the empress, the empress reversed, right? Like you don't deserve to be given anything. So when you are embodying that empress reverse energy, you are afraid to ask for things. You're afraid to stand on your worth. So there could be some dark feminine energy that you need to step into, Tashian, when it comes to manifesting money. Let me know if this is resonating. For those of you who are in the chat, let me see the chat get blown up with some snakes, because the Lilith just got brought up. The dark feminine just got brought up. Blow up the chat with some snakes, because clearly there is The dark feminine is coming out and is like, you struggling with money and manifesting money because you playing games. You playing games with your power. Two of Wands. Can you give me an idea of what the dark feminine looks like in manifesting money? The dark feminine looks like in manifesting money. It looks like not needing to tell anybody what you're manifesting. It looks like knowing what it is that is going to happen for you without caring if anybody else is validating it or not. It looks like you setting your intention and then moving forward with the creation of your intention confidently and knowing damn well that it's going to happen. So it doesn't have to be big things, okay? You can set the intention, okay, today. If you want to manifest a certain amount of money for a specific amount of whatever, right? Like, and then you decide on that amount. When you're manifesting this money with men, right? The dark feminine has to do with knowing with knowing what's happening without anybody outside of you validating that. So how I embody dark feminine energy when I'm manifesting, when it comes to men, it's very similar to how I do it just in regular everyday life, but I just don't tell them what I'm doing. I don't tell them what my ultimate like vision is, right, for them being in my life, but I already know why they're in my life. If I'm bringing someone into my life, I already know why you're in my life and what you're going to do for me. Anytime I start to get out of the feeling like or I would say the confidence of knowing why someone is in my life, then that means I'm letting them decide why they're in my life. It's just you being in your power. It's you being in your power and deciding this is why you're here. This is what you're going to do for me. This is what you're going to give me. And when I'm doing that with men, right? Obviously not every man is going to like, you just have to feel through it, right? You feel through the energy. What man is most qualified or most in alignment with this desire that I have right now, or this amount of money that I want right now, and then go from there. Um, when you're manifesting money in general, it's all about just moving forward with the knowing of what you are about to manifest without feeling like anybody else has to tell you, yep, that's going to happen for you. You're just like, nope. Okay, Two of Wands came out, Six of Swords reversed, expansion, not resistance. Six of Swords talks about resistance to moving out of troubled waters. Death reversed. The Star reversed. Okay, let's just pull one more. Justice reversed. Ten of Swords reversed. Four of Swords. Okay, so Expansion wants to happen, and there's clear resistance to moving out of troubled waters, transforming. Hmm. Four of Swords. Four of Swords talks about rest. Ten of Wands talks about being burdened. Gripping onto things. Okay, I don't know. Somebody in this chat is stubborn. That's all I gotta say. Somebody in this chat is picking up on some stubborn energy. I think I need to get outside more and allow myself to receive. Um, yeah, yeah. If you've been inside a lot, I mean, okay. So what came out just now speaks a lot to expansion wanting to happen, right? Like basically more more manifestation, right? Like the manifestation of more things wanting to happen, but a resistance to moving out of whatever stuckness you've been in, trapness you've been in. um a transformation that wants to happen, like a new identity, a healing, justice, karma for the stresses and things that you've had to go through. um Four of Swords, a period of rest from all of this, like taking on a lot of burdens. For some of you, you've taken on a lot of burdens. um Dealing with um basically just doing too much, right? Taking on too much responsibilities, which is providing, taking on the responsibility of being the provider, and a lot of mental stress. And there's rest that wants to happen, and a coming back to yourself, and an internal transformation that wants to happen. Five of Swords, arguing. Maybe some of you have been getting into arguments with like men who can't provide or are horrible providers, or you've been arguing with yourself about your manifestations. Okay. I think I need to get out. So let's see. Tashian, because you have been active chat. So let me just pull a card. If you are open to receiving this message specifically for you on what your specific action needs to be, let me know if you're open to it. I definitely feel like I take on a lot. I mean, them cards might have been for you, because I'm like, what is going on here? I know Capricorns are stubborn. So, but that's your moon sign. So, but maybe emotionally. Okay, Eight of Swords. So it's maybe you've been guilty. You've been feeling guilty. You've been feeling guilty. Eight of Swords talks about guilt. Guilt to feel free. Guilt around feeling alive. Guilt around taking pleasure in your life. Maybe there's like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be living like this. So message is coming out saying you need to let go of guilt. Ace of Swords. Um, there's something that you need to say that's been on your mind to say. Your voice. You need to speak more of what you want into existence. You might have a defined throat in the human design. If you know what your human design is, you might have a defined throat in the human design. So if you have a defined throat, you have to speak what you desire into existence way more often. I do feel good. Okay, that's what needs to be let go of then, definitely, because it's a it's a natural emotion to feel, right? Like, to feel guilty. You're not bad for feeling guilty, but it is just a feeling that you don't have to continue to feel. Okay. Um, so Ace of Cups coming out. So stop feeling guilty about what you want in love and in life. The new beginnings. You want a new beginning in your manifestation journey, in your love life. Four of Swords reversed. Um, it's talking about coming out of rest. So the message for you is to allow yourself to receive, is to let go of guilt and start moving. This is talking about rest, but coming out of rest. And the Star. When you feel guilty about your financial situation, it's usually because you have expectations, you have um there's ways that you think about your financial situation that don't feel good. Nine of Swords reversed. So yeah, so um you're coming out of a lot of mental anguish, I think, around your finances, and then the Lovers is coming out. So there is a sacred union that's wanting to happen. I see this as like a sacred union with yourself, and realizing that you don't have to be guilty, you don't have to be overthinking about your finances all the time. Like, the things that come up in your reality probably trigger you into feeling guilty, when instead in those moments, um you have the opportunity to say or tell yourself the thing that you want to happen, and imagine the reality that you want to have in your financial reality. I think you would definitely benefit from joining the Creatrix Collective. And I'm not saying that to be like marketing or whatever. At the same time, I am, but it's just true because I've heard you, like, you've come and you talked about manifesting with me on before on another one of my lives, and I just feel like a lot of what you talk about is directly tied to specifically what I teach inside of Valued and Worthy. Um, I definitely feel pushed to be more active. So the cards are definitely saying for you to move into water, into a new mindset, let go of mental anguish and come into balance. That could also be a person. So with the Lovers card coming out, that could also be a person. Okay. um that wants to provide for you, that wants to show up for you. Tashiana Divine says, "Yes, I want to." Well, we gotta manifest. Okay, let's get the manifesting going. Let's get the manifesting going because the block number one is the guilt. The first way out of that is with the Ace of Swords coming out after the guilt card is soothing yourself out of feeling guilty about your finances. There's nothing that you need to be feel guilty about because you have money. The money is there, the money is coming, the money. What do you have to feel guilty about? The only reason that you would feel guilty is if you were entertaining a different kind of reality. The reality of, you know, I don't know, possibly I don't have it, or um these are things that you can start to talk to yourself and say out loud, why do I feel guilty when I think about money or my financial situation? And then those answers are going to tell you exactly what you believe about your financial situation. Because if you didn't believe that, you wouldn't feel the way you felt. So the guilt is coming from that belief. And once you get it out and you write it down and you can look at it, change it, then you can rewire it. Then you can, as soon as you start to feel like you're going into that again, you have the other belief. So name one belief that's coming from, that you can identify, that's coming from the guilt. Okay. Also, if you're coming into this live video, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you press the like button. Excuse me. What's one belief that you can identify from feeling guilty about your financial situation? So this is the timeline that's being cleared. Okay. 999. We're completing the cycle of feeling like we are or have to compete for the love that we receive from men, feeling like we have to compete for our manifestations to come into fruition. Like we have to compete, right? With other women, with ourselves, maybe even. One belief, I am not doing what I am supposed to do. Okay, what are you supposed to be doing? Like, I am not working efficiently enough. Okay, so that's a self concept. That's a belief and a self concept. That's your self concept, is you're not enough. Let's like take working and efficiently out of that sentence. I am not enough. I am not doing what I am supposed to do. I am not enough. So you let's identify right now. What are you supposed to be doing? Not even looking at it from like a lens of manifesting, but like what are you in your mind supposed to be doing? Like let's get that out on the table. What are you supposed to be doing in Tashian's mind that is going to make you enough? And then once we get that out, we can just start to rewire the whole thing. Just that alone, just that thought process, just that feeling, that's enough. That's enough. If it's strong enough, right? A lot of the times, I mean, life wants to bless us. So life is going to do its best to work around all of the resistance we put up. But if you want it to be easy, if you want to manifest without feeling like you're at war with yourself or the world around you, if you want to tap into your wheel of fortune, then you got to start becoming your best friend in alignment with your truth, in alignment with who you truly are, which we're about to get down and deep and nitty into the nitty gritty of. But Tashian the Divine says, acting on the ideas I have to generate wealth, focusing on habits that are high vibrational. What are high vibrational habits? Okay. Acting on the ideas I have to generate wealth. This is bringing up Empress reversed as you speak. Definitely, I'm getting the Empress reversed because do you have to act on the ideas you have to generate wealth? Is that a necessity for you to be provided for? Or is that just something that it would be nice? It would be nice to have this thing that brings me money or to have this idea that brings me money. Working out, meditating, eating healthy. Okay, those things are beautiful things to do if you want to do it, if it makes you feel good to do it, and they're not necessary for you to be high vibrational. They're not necessary habits for you to have for you to be high vibrational. So that's one belief we can just okay, because everybody wants to be fit into some box and some masculine mold it and so that they can see themselves as worthy. That's the patriarchal structure. That's the masculine paradigm of you get to have what you want now. You get to be worthy now. Those habits, generating those habits, it's fine for that to be like a desire that you have for yourself. But if you're using that, right, to be as an excuse to beat up on yourself, that's completely different. Okay. So let's start to rewire this right now. First and foremost, you don't have to act on anything to generate wealth. Let's get that clear. You don't have to act on anything to generate wealth. You don't have to act on your ideas. You don't have to act on any ad that pops up on your feed. Um you don't have to, because they got a lot of them out there, okay? And that is something that I dive deep into, like um inside the feminine collective in valued and worthy is like the way people just, and this is something I had to learn once I started to manifest big chunks of money. I started to realize like every left, right, and center, somebody's wanting to get me to buy something so that I can, again, like It's marketing to insecurities. They market to insecurities. They market to what you don't have. They market to your unworthiness. They market to who you're not and how beautiful you're not. And or I would say not how beautiful, how not beautiful you are, or how not worthy you are. Like there's so much marketing out there that is directed towards that, exactly those things, your insecurities about yourself. And then they promise you that you'll get these results, and sometimes people do get the results that they want, but where was it coming from? And are those results as sustainable, as people like the marketers or the marketing gurus or whatever, like are your results sustainable? Sometimes they don't even know if it's sustainable or not, but most people are focused on like the quick win or the quick result, and I'm focused on your longevity and your sustainable wealth. So you don't have to act on anything. You're not the emperor, okay? You don't have to act on anything. So let's rewire this. Okay? What would you actually like, what do you want like to do for wealth to come to you? What do you want? Like what do you want? Like if nothing was necessary for you to do, if you didn't have to do any of these things, if you didn't have to be high vibrational to be wealthy, if you didn't have to um act on ideas, if you didn't have to like in your mind do these things, like you said, like you're not doing what you're supposed to do, what if you didn't have to do those things? What would you actually do out of sheer want and just pleasure? What's that answer look like? That's going to tell you a lot about whether or not you're using your energy appropriately. So, what is that? Whoop. The Chariot reversed, the Five of Wands. Maybe there's a feeling of if you move towards the thing that you want, you will have to like struggle. Again, this competitive energy is coming out. So there's this feeling like you'll have to fight or struggle. I will be an influencer on social media and do activities that I enjoy, like playing sports, being active, art, creating, and indulging in art. Okay. So that feels like, right, like that maybe give I'm saying that feels better. Like it's me. But I really do feel like I feel it, right? Like I feel the relief. Like it feels different to say I will do it. I, I would do activities that I enjoy, right? Like playing sports, being active, doing art, being an influencer on social media. Okay, well then that's what like first of all, those are the things that you want to do. And so there's flexibility there, which is feminine. There's fluidity there, which is feminine, instead of what you're supposed to do. But you have now the freedom to choose, which is what manifesting is, that you get to do what you want. So that sounds, I mean, you're playing sports. That's healthy. You would do activities that you enjoy. I'm pretty sure some of those activities would maybe include healthy things that will raise your vibration. See, raising your vibration has to do with this right here, being in a state of enjoyment and appreciation. That's what raises your vibration. It's not what anybody told you that you should be doing or what you think you should be doing because of what everybody and their great grandmother keeps saying that that's what you should be doing. That's why I personally, like, I have learned from a lot of people and I've had several teachers throughout my life, but I know that I am the only one who knows what is good for me. Okay? I know that about myself. Yeah, I definitely needed this conversation. Absolutely. So yeah, so let's rewire that, okay? You are you so first of all, there's nothing that you have to do. I think that's the first belief that we should ingrain. And um I ingrained this deeply into you in the first module of valued and worthy, okay? Is that the rewiring that your brain and your emotional body needs to go through um for wealth to be easy and for it to not to just be a one day thing, but something that you change forever. I had pulled the death card resistance for a lot of you coming into completion or transforming this aspect of yourself. But we're gonna have to move through that, okay? Because that's what needs to shift is how you identify. So there's nothing that you have to do to be worthy. First and foremost, there's nothing that you have to do that's going to make you enough. You just are enough. You are enough. You being born, you existing is enough for you to be provided for. That's enough. It's enough for you to be worthy of having great things in your life. That's enough. And you get to do the things that you love. You get to do the things that you enjoy. So any resistance to like moving forward because you feel like it's going to be hard, you feel like you're going to have to fight with the Chariot reversed and the 5 of Wands, um the 7 of Wands reversed, um yeah, just wanting to move out of like struggling and striving. But then let's see, we have the ten of Pentacles coming out back of the deck. 10 of Pentacles talks about ultimate wealth, generational wealth. We have balance coming out. The 6 of Wands, which is success. So, and then the Knight of Swords, which is like swift, fast, like the Knight of, like, so the manifestation will come quickly. The manifestation comes quickly when you stop being afraid of moving through the challenge of starting a new thing, right? Starting this, living a new life. Page of Wands reversed. It's like a new life that a lot of you are, you know, it's new. But this is what's on the other side, right? 10 of Pentacles, Temperance, 6 of Wands, success, swift manifestations, swift and fast manifestations, all of that. So that's your wheel of fortune, okay? Is those things. Is those things. Is letting go of the limitations of the mind. Okay, my mic is still alive. Must have charged it really good. My mic is still alive. Okay, so now's your chance. If you want to ask me any more questions, that I can dive into. The Lover's card did come out, so, and again, I was talking about masculine provision and masculine providers as well. So when you're manifesting through your feminine energy, you're letting things be easy. That's first and foremost. You're letting things be easy. In your mind, you're letting it be easy, and in your body, you're letting it be easy, and you're resting into the safeness of being provided for, and knowing that life wants to provide for you, and men wants to provide for you. Life wants to take care of you, and men wants to take care of you. Things want to happen for you. Oh, look, Empress energy is in the chat, and we were talking about the Empress energy. We were diving deeply into the Empress energy. So as soon as you allow yourself to be in that Empress energy, the feminine energy of the Empress, that is where your wheel of fortune is going to come. How do you know when a business venture is for you? Um, how do you know when a business venture is for you? Like, if you're meant to run the business, like, is that what you mean? Like, if it's meant for you or something like that? Um, it all has to do with if you want it, right? If you want to go down that path, how does that path make you feel? Does that path fulfill you? Okay. Are you going down the same path over and over again in the same exact way and then expecting something to change? Um, are you having fun, right? Are you fulfilled with what you're doing? I know for me, whenever I am working, like whenever I've had after I realized what I like, what was like my passion, the things that I was passionate about, I could never really work a regular job after that, because every time I would work the job, my mind would just be on the thing that I wanted to do. My mind would just be on the things that I wanted to create. I was no longer fully present in other people's stuff. I was really like, okay, this is what I like. These are all the things that I'm thinking. These are all the things that I would like to do. Um, so if you think about it and it makes you feel excited, it makes you feel lit up, it makes you feel like, wow, like I love doing this thing. If you have a lot of visions, I have a lot of visions about things that I want to do. If you're always back to the same vision about this particular thing that you want to do, or like you're being inspired all the time to do a certain thing, then that's how you know. That's how you know. And it's never So I want to say that a lot of times people think, oh, because this thing isn't working out or it's not manifesting, um, or it's not going like specifically like with business, like people will think, oh, because um I didn't get this certain result or I didn't make. I mean, the purpose of having a actual business is so that you can make money. But the thing is, when you have when you have a phase of like in the beginning not making money, or a phase or however long of a phase of not making money, it really has to do with the venture or the business. It rarely has to do with that. Most of the time, it has to do with just you and how you feel about money or about the thing that you're doing. It's one of the two things. It has to do with how you feel about money or how you feel about the thing that you're doing. That is the thing that will just block it off, right? Because that means that you either have resistance to money or resistance to the thing that you're doing. That's why when people decide to leave a thing that they really want to do and maybe go over to something else that they want to do that they don't have a lot of resistance to, they're just like, heck, I'm just going to do this. I don't give a rat's ass if I make money. I don't care if it's successful. I just want to do this. Right? That's why a lot of times when people are just doing things from their heart, that's the thing that just pops off and becomes successful. And then they're like, oh, okay, this is what I'll do. But usually when people go into it with this is what's going to happen and I'm going to be successful and I'm going to make it like that, it's like you're no longer like doing it with the intent for pleasure. You're doing it with the intent for results, which sometimes that works out for people and they get the results, but are they happy? Um, are they happy? Are they fulfilled? No. And this is where you get people who have lots and lots of money who are suffering very badly in life. Depressed. Um, yeah, just not doing well. It clicked as I started typing this. I feel my limitation is I'm trying to be the emperor. Yes, girl, that's what I say. You hear me say that? Okay, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. Okay. I was thinking about creating a community, but I don't really feel lit up when I think about it. Now I feel there is no need for me to do all the things and just do what I enjoy. Exactly. So if you okay, there I go. Um my phone just froze for a second. Okay. All right, I'm manifesting the new iPhone that's coming out. That's what I'm manifesting because I'm getting some glitches. So now I feel there is no need for okay, I read that already. Yes, I did hear you say that, Ella. It just resonate. Yes. Yeah. Okay, it took some time. Sometimes it takes a little second. So weird why my phone is doing that. I might need to get off soon. But that is the key thing is your pleasure. There's a lot of things in the air that people will throw at you about what you should do, what you should think. The mind is the mind can take you places, trust me. And if you let the mind run the show, you will not be happy in life because the mind is going to try to logically rationalize things. The mind is going to try and be like, oh, but this happened with this and that happened with that. But your body and your pleasure is saying something else. Um, and this is kind of interesting. Um, in the way that it plays out in relationships, but typically not seen as an excuse for women who are with men who are physically I mean like sexually in the bed pleasing them but not financially capable of providing, okay. because I literally had that R. Kelly song pop in my head just now. Um, my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I don't see nothing wrong. I'm sorry. That's not, I like. I don't think I will ever not like that song, but I don't. I don't. I don't like. I don't fully resonate with R. Kelly. I don't like R. Kelly because obviously he's a pedophile. But that's the song that came up. um. So yeah, I'm not saying that as like permission for women who are like basically stuck in relationships because they're addicted to um sex. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like it has to be consistent like lighting up of your body because usually in those types of scenarios you're only feeling good in the moment. Like after it's over you feel horrible. Okay, he's not calling, he's not texting. Maybe he is calling and texting, but he's eating your food, driving your car. If he's not doing that, you ask him for like $5, $10, $50, $100. He don't have it, he can't help. Oh, that is the biggest turn off. I'm telling you right now. It's not the I'm not saying like a man being honest is a turn off. What I'm saying is when I know you can and you're sitting there saying that you can't, that's a turn off. That's a turn off. That is a turn off. Not a turn off when a man is honest and he's like, hey, I don't have it right now, but I'm going to just do this and this and that. We're going to do this and that, and I'm going to make it happen. That's different. Okay. It's different. But yeah, you have to be turned on. So even if in your mind you think it's a good idea, that's one of the things that used to take me down rabbit holes of just absorbing all of these different pathways of hustling and entrepreneurialism. And I'm telling you right now, it is not like it's not going to do you any good even if you do make some money from it. In the long run, it's going to be detrimental to your body, your femininity, your soul. Okay. So you don't know where following the path of your joy is going to lead you. You don't know that. But what you do know, can be sure of, is that it's going to be somewhere good. That's what you can be sure of. And then when you do your healing work around money and finances and your worth with the Empress reverse, and you start showing up, right, knowing that you're worthy of having exactly what you want and exactly what you need, you can almost be sure that your joy is the only pathway that's meant for you. Okay, any last questions? We're closing out this cycle um of what is it called? Feminine impoverishment and taking on burdens and struggles that we don't have to take on. You don't have to take on. Very helpful. Thank you. I'm glad that you lots out of this, Tashian. Is there any last questions? Oh Lord, I hate when that happens. 10 of Wands. Yeah. Releasing of the burdens. Releasing of the burdens is happening right now. Oh my gosh, now I got that song stuck in my head. I don't see nothing wrong. No, I don't see nothing wrong. Okay. But she like just like thinking about that song and like what he was doing, it makes you not want to say it makes you wish you didn't have that song stuck in your head. Cause we know you don't see nothing wrong. Okay, I'm pulling an oracle card just to get like a last message. I guess Starlight wanted to come out. Don't slow down manifestation through hesitation or worry. Keep the faith and create light in the dark. The path of the stars is made by the same energy. Starlight. So, yep, don't slow down your manifestations through all of that worrying, all of that, oh, I don't have this, oh, I can't do that. Um, oh, he's not gonna want to provide for me. Oh, he's not gonna, I'm not worth, no. Ain't none of that happening no more. Okay. Happening anymore. All right. So if you enjoyed this chat, if you're watching this in the future, and you stayed until the end, make sure you put some, let's see, what can we put in the chat? Let's see some stars in the chat. I want to see some stars for manifesting, for being the lucky star, for your healing, for your shining of your light, your powerful manifesting light. I want to see lots of stars in the chat, even if you're not watching in the future. If you're here right now, I want to see stars in the chat. Um, if you have resonated with everything that I have said in this live, there is a lot more information, there's a lot more transformation that is happening on the inside of the Creatrix Collective. So, this is my community of women that I'm creating for me to really create a sisterhood, and I'll help you all to step into your manifesting power, start to experience what it's like being a lucky woman, experiencing blessings, windfalls of money, provider men, just like that you didn't even ask for, walking up on you, talking about some, I got the money, I got the money. Wink, wink. um like that experience that happened to me earlier today with my old man neighbor. But if you're wanting to step into that kind of energy being normal for you, I have a lot more feminine wisdom on the inside of the Feminine Collective. And this time around, I really want to create a community and a sisterhood, um that you can choose to be a part of, or just really just be in, right? I used to, or I would say I never experienced the beauty of a feminine sisterhood until the year of 2023. And I mean, it had its downsides, but the downsides didn't last long because the beauty and the support within that community was so strong. It was a very healing and uplifting and empowering experience. And it also helped me to learn and cultivate more of own womanhood, right? Being around other beautiful, powerful women. So, the link that is down in the description box for you to subscribe to. It's only $111 a month. It's not down there, to where it's available to everybody, but it's also not up there to where, you know, it's like out of everyone's league. $100 is, I mean, you typically, most people have an extra $100 every month to spend. So, what were the downsides? Sides were that I was in a group that was not predominantly ethnic. It was mostly white women. which that like I would say the downsides to that were minimal because most of those women, like there were a lot of other black women, women from other backgrounds in the group. But there were just a few, there was like I would say two women that were weird, but they quickly like disappeared because number one of the women got fired, okay? And number two, the other woman, um, she was no longer a part of the program. So it was a program that I signed up for. So that was the downside was that there was some racism that I experienced privately. It was not publicly, it was privately. And um what you call it, and then the other woman was just she had this really like snaky kind of energy. It was one of the coaches inside of the group, and she was my coach specifically, and she was the sweetest woman. I feel like she had the best intentions, but she definitely had some snaky energy. She ended up getting fired like within a couple months, and I was like, I'm not surprised. She had weird energy. um oh, I thought the downsides were more from having so many, absolutely not. No, that was the upside of having, no, there was only upsides from having a bunch of powerful women in one room. There was only upsides to that. The downsides came from like the little like the little spraggles of energy that have to just kind of get clipped off every now and then. Um that was the downsides. But in the Creatrix Collective, I mean, it's obviously going to be a safe space for women of color because I'm a woman of color. So there's no course that I need to take on racism or microaggressions or colorism or anything like that because I've experienced it all. So, so yeah, it's obviously a safe space for women of color, um, and women from different ethnic backgrounds. Um, and the yeah, no, no snake energy. I've been saying this, I don't know if y'all have been picking up on it, but every live that I have been doing, and I'm gonna continue to do this, if you're coming onto my videos, watching my videos with any kind of competitive energy, evil eye energy, jealousy, you want to absorb this energy and take it and go and, do your own thing with it and like any kind of energy like that, okay? You are not welcome here. You can just take that and go somewhere else with that. I am no longer tolerating any kind of emotional immaturity from women. I am no longer accepting um any kind of mental illness, okay, any kind of any of that, okay, subconscious darkness out of any woman. If you are not coming onto my page, do some work, okay, to do some inner work and or connecting in a beautiful, I just don't have any more space and capacity for that. I've shown a lot to women over the years, and a lot of women just taken advantage of that and decided to just be evil and entitled, to my energy. And at one point, I allowed that to happen and it did a number on me. And I grew weary of women. I grew weary of sharing myself, right? Like it made me kind of close off and not want to share myself. And I'm like, all of that is black magic. Like all of that is black magic. And, F all of that. Nobody, no, not happening all over here anymore. Return that shit to sender. Okay? Go play them games with somebody else. Um, Empress Energy says, they say this is the year of the snake. That's the best thing to do at the first sign of anyone being weird or off-putting. Yes. Yes, this is the year of the snake. Yep. So this is the year of The snake represents a lot of different things, but honestly, I'm my what is it? My Chinese zodiac is a boar. The year the boar, aka the year the pig. So I'm not really compatible with snakes. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't felt the need to really do too much this year. um, and if you're born in the year of the snake and you're watching this video, I love you. It's all good. But I just know that I'm typically not in my personal relationships, not that compatible with snakes. So, um, you know, I didn't feel the need to really do like a lot doing, oh, we have to do all this stuff. You're saying, just like, I'm good. I'll wait till the year the pig come around because that's my zodiac sign. And that's where I could do all my work. Um, yeah, I always find myself thinking I can handle it, but not I'd rather not deal with the weirdo, block and delete. No, you don't have to handle anything. Mm-mm. No, and that's something that, you just realize like the one thing that the people like that want is your energy. They want your energy. They want you to give energy to them, and then they want you to go against your own energy. So they get off of those two things. And so best thing to do is return to sender, block, or just make fun of it. Like make fun of it, make light of it, and just like brush it off because it's not welcome and it's no longer going here to affect you anymore. It's just me either. LOL. Snakes and spiders ain't for me. Spiders. There is no spider Chinese zodiac. Girl, what you talking about? You talking about actual animals now. Now the actual animal, I don't have nothing against. I'm just talking about the people. I can make friends. I'm very earthy. Um, the animal might also have a little bit more decorum than people people than a person would. Um, me either. LOL. Okay, my mic finally went out. I think this mic lasts for about one good hour and maybe like an hour and a half. Today I got lucky. An hour and a half. Can you guys hear me now? I took out my mic. Let me know if you can hear me because I took out my mic. Okay. Um, what I was saying was, what was I saying? Um, what was I saying? Oh my goodness. Okay. I lost what I was saying, but I'm glad y'all can hear me now. I was in the middle of saying something and then my mic went out. Oh, the difference between the community. Yeah. So community, like the difference that you highlighted it feels like community has a vibration of love, like communion, coming together, just in the like etymology of the word. And but friends is not like that. Friends, um they're not always like, not always friendly. Friends can sometimes be your enemies. Um Friends can sometimes be jealous of you. Friends can sometimes, you know, but when you're in communion with a group of people, it's almost like the only thing that can exist is love. Wow, that's such a beautiful thing. It makes me think of Aquarius energy, because the Aquarius is a very loving sign of like all people, but they don't really like people individually. But they do love people as like a whole, or like a coming together type of unit. um I don't have friends any, not even one. Well, you the thing is, you don't really need friends by the way the vibration of friends is coming off. But we do need community. That is something that is important. We do need community. So friends aren't necessary, but community is necessary. Friends are like a luxury, It's nice to have friends. If you want friends, and especially if you value friendship. If you don't value friendship, or maybe a lot of times, I know when you become a mother, I just stopped having time for friends. I stopped having time for friends, and I couldn't risk being around women that weren't on the same journey as me, because I didn't want that to like block my growth or my expansion. So whenever I was around women, I kept it really light. I started to keep it really light. But anyway, even though I'm sure all of you have your trauma around friendships, you have your trauma around family, you have your trauma around people, um, that you haven't been able to trust or rely on for love and connection. Um, that's definitely something that I intend on expanding on inside of the Creatrix Collective. So, my founding members inside of the Creatrix Collective will be receiving a um so I'm going to be sending out items from my Earth Feminine store, which are my Heal Her face and skin elixirs and my Grow Her lash serums. So, if you are wanting to have a simple thing that you can use to keep your skin nice and clear, healthy, and glowing, a complimentary eyelash growth serum, which will absolutely have your lashes growing within, like, I would say a good 3 months. Your lashes will be full and long if you use it 2 times a day. 2 times a day, every day for 3 months, you're gonna have like eyelash full lashes. Okay. Um, I love women though. My experience with ones I've encountered have just not been so pleasant. Yeah, community is something different. Community more has a purpose. Yes, all relationships should have a purpose. All relationships should have a purpose, and all relationships should have boundaries. And I think within feminine friendships, it can lack that at times. It can lack purpose and it can lack boundaries. And there's a lot of enmeshment sometimes in feminine friendships. We just want to tell our girlfriends everything, share everything. We want to merge with them, but like they're probably growing and evolving into things, and you're probably growing and evolving into things. So I definitely think community gives it more. sacred structure, and um when you have the right person guiding the community, because you have people creating communities that are like so unsafe for women. Like communities for women that are so unsafe for women. Matter of fact, I might actually do this, talk about this in another one of my lives. How I had to call the police on someone. um it was actually a guy. I only went on one date with this man. I had to call the police on him the day after I went on the date with him. And then I had to, I decided I didn't have to, but I just said I should post him like what happened in a Facebook community group I'm a part of. Um it's, and the group is specifically, it's called like, it's a group specifically for women who are wanting to be aware of dangerous men that they could potentially be dating, or men who are like players, serial cheaters, or whatever like that. So I went on to the group page, posting about the situation and what happened, and how I had to file a police report and everything like that. And in that group, I'm telling you, money triggers a lot of women. Because the moment that I brought up money, right, that he sent me money before the date, money that I needed to pay for my sitter, but he sent me more than I asked for. So that wasn't even on me. You sent me more than I asked for, you know, that's just what it is, okay? Um, they took that little part of the story of me receiving money before I went on the date, and they are like, "Oh, you're the toxic one. You deserved to be for that to happen to you, or for him to say those things to you, or blah blah blah." Like, I mean, it was so toxic. The comments were toxic. The women in there was toxic. There were a few women, I want to say maybe 5 that I could count on my hand, out of like 50, 60, 70 women who were like, "What the hell is going on in these comments?" Like what, like they were in the twilight zone. Like, these women were so misogynistic. They were so like, and I like they there's some women out there who genuinely think, I want to say a lot of women out there who genuinely think women deserve to be treated poorly, especially women who think highly of themselves, especially women who manifest easily and get money to spend and get men to spend money on them easily. There are women out there who hate that about women, and they will say, "Oh, you deserved it. You deserve to be mistreated because I never asked for money, or I never, you know." It's like, so you get to feel better right now in the fact that a man has never bought you a cup of coffee or has never done anything for you. You get to relish in that right now because this one situation where, mind you, his ass got the police called on him, and he had a police report filed on him. And not only that, but I had the ninjas on speed dial on his ass. So, I mean, it wasn't a win situation for this guy. But that's why there are men out there like that, because look at how these women act. They're enabling, and they're not safe spaces, and they don't care about women. They sit there and they act like they do through all of these different social justice movements, and even in feminism. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those women, I guarantee you, would identify as feminists, because I'm on the West Coast, and that group was based in my city. So Empress Energy says, so because he sent you money, you deserve that treatment. No, that's not the truth, but that is what they projected onto me, right? Because I got money, but specifically because I asked for the money. If I never mentioned that I asked for him to send me money, it would have been a whole nother story. Okay? This man called me all kinds of heinous, like, he was giving psycho. He was giving psycho. And I think I'll definitely talk about this, because this is why you should never, ever date a man, right? Like, the signs were there, they were small, but never date a man who feels like he's unworthy of you, ever. Never date a man who feels insecure about like, no. Mm-mm. You are actually protecting yourself when you choose to be with men who have egos and feel like they're worthy of you, who feel like they're hot stuff, who feel like, um not necessarily like, in a bad way, but a healthy ego, right? The Empress energy says the bare minimum is for you to accommodate my expenses. I'm not going in my pocket to be in his presence. Exactly the logic. Exactly the logic that you would expect for the average woman to have. But that was not the case. And I will say that that was mostly Caucasian women in the comments. That's just my guess. Honestly, that's just my guess. But it looked like, from all the profile pictures, I'm like, dang, these women on the West Coast, like, hate women that ask for money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that timeline is over with. That cycle is over with. And after that, after I shared in that community, I really realized, like, it's really not safe out. Like, it's really not safe to be sharing, even in communities that say that they're meant to protect women. The community was meant to protect women. That's what it said. From abusive men, from men who are serial cheaters, all the stuff like that. So whoever was moderating the group, they just deleted the post. They just deleted my post because it was making women that angry. Like, within 30 minutes to an hour, it had got like 100 people on there just wilding. Okay. I thought that that was very tactless and just disgusting behavior, not just for the women, but also for the moderators. I'm like, the moderators are disgusting. The people who are running this group are disgusting. So, anyway, I say all that to say, I know what it's like to be in a toxic feminine space. That is an example. There are other examples, but yeah, creating something completely new, completely new and authentic and aligned. Um, Empress Energy says Caucasians probably would have a hard time empathizing with you because you are extremely beautiful. They cannot relate to your they cannot relate to my plight. And you know what? I think that, I mean, that could be a thing, you know, but because I've never seen myself through the eyes of the way that I look, and I've never compared the way that I look to the way another woman looks. I've never bashed the way another woman looks. I've never been like, oh, she's ugly, like, or oh, she looks like this. Like, I've never been like that. And like, I'm just not that kind of person, you know? I've never been that kind of woman. I want everybody to win. And I have not always been like the most, I would say, felt the most attractive or seen as the most prettiest, right? Like, my beauty is something that I've cultivated over the years. That's not something that I just woke up, and I've always just been, at least not in my eyes in my experience. Okay? She said, I'm not throwing jabs. I am serious. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think that you're throwing jabs at all. I definitely think that that's a valid point. Like, you know, jealousy, jealousy over me. Why are you so jealous? Why are you so jealous? Jealousy. Okay, so there's no jealousy in the Creatrix Collective. There's only empowerment and woo cheering you on. Because in my head, everybody's right. Anybody could do what I'm doing. Anybody can ask a man for money. Like what? Like I know because like what my image of what's like what I look like and what my my look, right? How I look. I've had friends who don't look like how I look, right? Or the conventional standard of beauty. And they look different. Their bodies, are different. Maybe not as slim, maybe big up here, big up here, big down here. Like I don't even know how to describe it, but like every woman's body is different. I remember I had a friend in college. She was an Aquarius. If I would call anybody a bad bee, it would be her. Because she doesn't look like the conventional bad bee, but her audacity, her confidence, okay, her I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna have some fun was like up there. You know what I'm saying? And we used to have a lot of fun. And she used to be pulling all kinds of men. Okay? And it was my experience with her that let me know, yeah, like it don't matter. Like all of that stuff that women like think about how they look and their beauty, like it literally doesn't matter. What matters is what you think and feel about yourself. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. I gotta get ready to get up off of here. But let's see. Some people won't see you as innocent because you're beautiful. You just had to be the cause somehow. I understand that. And you know what? That's something we can talk about a little bit more. Um that's something we could talk about a little bit more. Probably on Thursday. So it's all about being confident. Yes. I'm not conventionally beautiful, but men and women pay for my things. My energy is radiant. Yes, absolutely. That's how it works. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much. Hopefully, I'll see you inside of the Feminine Collective. If not, I will see you in my next live video. You all have a beautiful rest of your evening. Bye.